Hello again, it's Mike. Today we're going to make a part for the printer to improve the printing process a little bit. Here I've got an issue with my spool where I don't really have a proper mount. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a set of cone-shaped caps. To do that, first we need two measurements. One, the axle. My axle is about 7 millimeters, probably round that up to say 10. Next, I need a measurement for the spool. That looks like it's about 54 millimeters. And that should just about do it. Next thing we're going to do is go into Blender and make a set of caps. Now in Blender, we just created a new file, and the first thing we got to do is make sure scaling is correct for our scene. So we're going to edit the scene settings, go with 0.01, enter. Let's see, make sure we click in the scene. Then let's see, number 1. So we're looking down the y-axis right now. Next we're going to do, make sure measure it's on, preferences, add-ons, measure it's on. Then we're going to add a cone. There we go. Then it should already be selected. We're going to hit S and then move the mouse to scale down the object. There we go. Then let's see, we're going to hit number 7 for top view, tab to go into edit mode, make sure vertice selection's on. We're going to select 2 opposing vertices. I did a left shift and mouse click to select the second vertex. Then we're going to open the settings, click on view, click on show for the measure it tools, add a segment, scroll down, expand the segment, and then we're just going to slide it to the right a little bit so we can see that measurement. And then we're going to switch that readout to millimeters. Now the measurements we had for the spool were 54 millimeters and then 10 millimeters for the axle. For the spool we're going to go between 65 millimeters at the large part of the cone and probably 45 millimeters for the small section of the cone. So what we're going to do, we're going to hit tab to go back to object mode. Now that we have a measurement for the large part of the cone, we're going to scale it up to it's about 65 millimeters. Now we're going to actually take this cube and we're going to use the Boolean modifier. So let's see, we want to move it on the z-axis, GZ, G for grab, we'll move this up, and then we're just going to make this guy just a little bit bigger. Okay. Then let's see, there we go. The side view, grab Z, we're going to move it down. Now each of these cubes is about, it's 1 centimeter, 10 millimeters. So if we look at this, this would be 40, so we can guesstimate about how far down we want to go. And it's okay if this is off. The important thing with this is that it's big enough to encompass the cone. So probably about there. Okay, so if you were to middle mouse click and drag, you can see that the entire top of the cone is consumed by the cube. Now we're going to click on the modifiers and we're going to add a modifier. And actually, let's select the cone first. Then we're going to add the Boolean modifier. Then we're going to select the cube and we're going to go for the difference. What this should do, if I don't have it backwards, is take the cone and then it's going to use the cube to get the difference between the two objects and leave the remainder. So the remainder will be this segment here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and click apply. Now if I select my cube and move it, you can see that that did not work. So we're going to try one more time. Let's see. Sometimes it can get a little finicky if your polygons are a little bit too close to each other. So we might have to scale up the cube. So let's see. Add a modifier. Select the cube. Okay. And apply. Did it work? No, it did not. Okay. Let's scale this puppy up. Side view. Put this at about 5. Boolean difference. Select the cube. There we go. Okay, there's a telltale I didn't notice before. See here how the silhouette clamped down here? Before I had a point going right through here when I applied it. I'm pretty sure it's going to work this time. So all I did to fix it was I enlarged the cube so that whatever calculations it's running in the back end would work correctly. You know, maybe the tolerances were too tight and it was throwing an error. Who knows? But that is an approach to fix it. So let's see if this will work. Okay, there we go. Now this time we can see we have the remaining piece that we desire. So we're going to get rid of the cube. We don't need that anymore. Hit 7. Now we're in top view. And we need to make a hole for the axle. So to do that, we're going to make a cylinder. Again, it should be selected already. We're going to scale it down with S and drag toward the cursor that's on the screen, or the bullseye, if you will. Okay, and we're going to use the same general approach. We've got to get a measurement on this guy. So I just hit tab to go into edit mode. I'm going to, let's see, hit number 7. I'm going to select 2 opposing vertices and create a segment for measurement. And in this case I can see what it is. It's 13.15 millimeters. We're going to hit tab to leave edit mode. Went back to object mode. And then we're going to scale this until we're at the desired size. There we go. Now we're going to rotate the camera using number 1 on the keypad so that we're looking at the side, and then we're going to scale just in the z-axis so that we have a piece that is longer than the height of this partial cone. So scale Y. Okay, hit the wrong button. Sorry, that was in Z, my mistake. Scale Z. There we go. Scale Z. GZ for move. There we go. So now we're prepped to use the Boolean operator on these 2 components. So we'll select your cone, select the Boolean modifier, select our cylinder, and click apply. Let's see if this did the magic. It did. Fantastic. Okay. Delete. Okay, now we should have a piece that'll work. I noticed that the measure tool did not keep the vertices correct. That's okay. That happens. So all we're going to do there is we're just going to double check our measurement. Go down here. Make sure the object's selected. There we go. And go ahead and remove that. Click back in the scene. Top view. Hit tab for edit mode. I'm just going to double check our measurements here. So measure across here. Looks like it's 43.38. And if I do here, sorry, there's my furnace kicking in. Hopefully you can still hear me okay. Here you can see we've got, move this out of the way a little bit, 65.32. Very good. Alright, so now we're going to save our file. And let's see, I already got a version here somewhere, but we're going to make sure we save this new version because this one's better. Spool Cat 2. Save it to Blender, or save it out of Blender. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to load it into Cura. Let's see, new project. Make sure to prepare. Alright, file, and let's see. Just looked at you. Oh, silly me! I gotta export the STL. So file, export. There we go. All right. So now here's our part. Let's see if it's listing as the size we need. Okay. So here we can see that the scaling is wrong coming out of Blender. Okay, so let's go see what we messed up there. Or me. See what I messed up. Let's see. So, click on my scene. We're off by a factor of 10. Everything looks good there. I'm curious. So that should be good. But it's off by a factor of 10. Precision 2. Scale is 1:1, so that's good. And we're just going to double check another part that I just made. This cricket flap imported pretty good. Let's see if we mess something up here. Yeah, that was the right measurement. That was in the soft. Oh. Okay. I guess I did mess something up there. I'm supposed to go factor of 10. It looks like in the representation, which then I would scale up higher by a factor of 10 and it would be exported correctly. So let's check these other settings. Yep. Okay, so let's get back over to our file and fix that real quick and show you what that looks like. Let's go to changes. Okay, so 1201. Okay. Measurements. Okay, so you can see our measurements are off by a factor of 10 now, but they now match what we're seeing in Cura. So all we got to do now is make sure our object's selected, and we'll scale it up to the size that we need. Now another approach that we could have taken is in Cura. We could have scaled it up in Cura as well, but here I want to show you how to troubleshoot and correct a problem. It's better if they're matching. Okay, so we've scaled it up to a size that should work for us. Let's just make sure that centerpiece is still going to work the way we need it, the axle hole, if you will. So let's see, we don't need these measurements anymore. What we need now is to measure across this smaller gap. Alright, 10.06 millimeters. That should work just fine. Just make sure I'm not reading that wrong. Yes, 10.06. Okay, so we'll resave the file, export, and then we're going to reload the model. There we go. Okay, looks like it's coming in approximately the size we need. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is configure Cura. We're going to do a really fast print here. We'll go extra coarse, just to test out the print, because you can see these prints take quite a while, so this is going to cut it down to 32 minutes. And this will help ensure that what I'm doing is at least ballpark good, and heck, it might be good enough to use anyway. And if not, I can always trim down I can always increase the print quality. So something else we're going to do though to make sure that we have good bed adhesion is going to adjust, well, hold on a second, infill density is 20, Here it is. We're going to put a brim. What that's going to do is it's actually going to add some connected layers on the print bed to help adhere the printed part to the bed. That's especially handy if you have an issue with the model lifting off the print bed, which can cause door and stuff. It tends to be a problem with ABS for sure. So we should be pretty much set up to print now. Now, yeah, I guess we'll set up a time lapse and see what that looks like. Here you can see we've got some poor adhesion between the layers. What we're going to need to do here is adjust from the very quick coarse print setting over to the draft setting, and then we'll rerun the print. Alright, here we have our finished print job. Let's see. Work the edge up here. Nice and easy. There we go. Alright. The thing I don't like about the brim is it takes the bit cleaner, but that's pretty much perfect, of course. So here we'll just a little bit of cleaning. There we go. Alright, there we go. We have our completed part. Let's go see if it fits. I've mounted it. It's not perfect, but you can see it definitely rotates a lot nicer than it did. So that completes printing a couple end caps for Spool and improving our printing process. Hope you enjoyed this. Thank you.